Good evening, folks. Once again, I'm Colonel VD Singh in front of you. Continuing with the session audio mixing, part 2. Last week, if you remember, I spoke about the basics of audio mixing, and I had already shown the various flavors of mixing console, which have been used over a number of years. Mixing has been there. I mean, whether it's for the live show or for the recording, a very, very important gadget as far as audio is concerned. So in this part 2, I would like to tell you about the how to connect. I mean, unless you connect something to the mixer, you can't really communicate. To communicate with the mixer, you have to either use a microphone or your musical instruments, and then you have to connect them by way of certain audio cables. And all these audio cables have got their name, their nomenclature, which should be known to you. So we'll dwell a little deeper into the subject in part 2. This is the mixer which we were talking about last week. Just to recapitulate, the top portion of this 12-channel mixer has got various inputs, gain control, then it has got main out, it has got monitor phone with which you can monitor, and the each channel strip is also here, जिसके बारे में मैं बता रहा था सबको. The blue ones are for EQ control, that is the tone quality. Red ones are for inserting effects. Effects in the language of audio engineering are called FX. Then you have got pan pots, that is pan control, and the bottommost row is of level control or faders. Then this is the master fader, which basically takes up or brings down all the levels which are over here. This is the master fader. Then a mixer has got a section for digital signal processing, also called DSP, to introduce a particular type of sound effect, whether it is reverb, early reflections, or delay, or modulation, things like that. So on smaller mixers, all these things are there, and along with the mixer, they give you a chart on which numbers are written, like effect number 25 is being used. Similarly, effect number 99, and so on. Now, the important thing is, how do we connect a mixer? From between the instrument, electric instrument, or the microphone and the mixer, there are a number of cables or cords. So these cables are used to connect to the mixer. So in that, the first thing comes as balanced cable. The name itself says balanced. That means there will be a balanced audio signal, such as XLR and TRS. So TRS basically is a short form of tip ring sleeve. Tip ring sleeve, TRS connector. These are very commonly known. They are also known as telephone jacks. In the in the earlier times, when in the telephone exchange, those operators used to insert various cables, in and out from various ports. So these types of telephone jacks have been there for more than 170 years. So these are very commonly used cables along with the TRS connector. On the left side, you see a different type of connector, which is known as XLR. These are primarily used in the microphones. The male portion, the male side of this, goes into the mixer. The female side goes into the microphone. In case of TRS, it doesn't really matter, because on this cable, both sides, same type of connectors are there. So balanced cables such as XLR or TRS are designed to filter out noise and interference. When we talk about the balanced cables, it means they are designed in such a way that they cancel out electrical noise. Because you will agree with me, if you are feeding an audio signal into the mixer and if there is an electrical noise also goes along with it, that also gets amplified, and the result is very no, it's not very good, because it will produce some kind of hissing sound, which we also call as white noise or pink noise, or sometimes humming, constant humming, low frequency humming sound also comes out. So to obviate all those things, we use balanced cables. And what happens in this? These balanced cables have two signal wires and a ground wire. Two signal wires and a ground, that means total three. One of the signal wire inverts the polarity of the signal at the beginning and then flips it back into the phase at the end. Thus, it cancels out any outside interference, leaving the audio signal intact. Not a very difficult thing to understand. Then we have got, tip sleeve. Instead of TRS, we have got tip sleeve. That is just two cables are there. One is connected to the tip, then the other one is sleeve, tip sleeve. It's also known as TS or RCA, Radio Corporation of America. Basically, the number of standards for making cables have been set by Radio Corporation of America many decades back. And they are considered to be unbalanced signals because the cable only carries two wires, a signal and a ground wire. That's all. Which means that there is only one copy of signal being sent through the cable from the mixer to the audio, making it much more susceptible to pick up noise. You see, this is definitely not a desirable thing, because whether you are using this or RCA, TS or RCA, these are RCA cables. You will find these RCA cables, it comes packed up along with your audio system also. So it has got color code of yellow, white and red. These are RCA connectors, and again, just two wires. One is on the tip, the other one is on the sleeve. In this audio cable, tip and sleeve. So, but they are susceptible to picking up noise and interference, because there is no other signal wire available which can get into the polarity flipped into to eliminate noise. Now these, once you have seen these connectors, XLR connector will get into this. That the male side of XLR connector, which is primarily used for the microphones, whereas you have got jack, phone jack. These are the ports for that. Once again, to recapitulate, lower half of audio mixer is here, in which you have got channel strips for each channel, with which you can control EQ, effects, pan, and the level. As I had shown you right in the beginning in part 1 last week, mixer has got various inputs coming in from your laptop, from the guitar, from the microphone, things like in this case, when I'm talking to you from my studio, Padarth Studio, I have connected a microphone, a condenser microphone in one of these XLR connectors. Then I'm using a computer to basically feed in the any kind of music which I want to play, and the output is going again, it's going to the interface, which I'll be talking about a little later, and from the headphone I am monitoring this. Now, what is this additional thing which we are seeing in front of you? Very commonly used digital audio interface, small little box which just weighs perhaps 300 or 400 grams. This digital audio interface becomes an integral part to your studio, to your home studio or professional studio, and the output which comes out from your mixer, left and right output, it goes into these boxes. Digital audio interface, various companies are producing it, like Focusrite, M Audio, and there are other companies. This is also an audio interface with built-in. That means it is a mixer, audio mixer, as well as digital audio interface. all these digital audio interfaces have got USB connectivity. That means they are communicating with your computer. They are communicating with your computer as external sound card. See, this is a very small one. It just takes two inputs. So these two inputs can be, this is a multi-purpose input. You can put XLR also, or you can put TRS also. And just to give you an idea of a small, handy digital audio interface, see, its physical length is 20 centimeter, width is 17, height is just 6 centimeters, about 2 inches. Very small thing. I mean, it can easily fit into your, suitcase wherever you are going, and you can carry it. This is a photograph of bigger size of digital audio interfaces. Like there's a very big one, small one, small one. I'm using the smallest one with which I'm actually communicating with you. You are 22C. This is a Steinberg company which is producing it. The actual photograph of the interface which I'm using. It has got two inputs. What it does is, it takes analog signals from the output of your mixer, converts them into digital format. Okay. And that thing, now you see the backside of this, it goes out from USB 2.0. 2.0 is that USB port from where, it gets connected to one of the USB ports of your computer. Thus, your computer is communicating with you, having the laptop or the computer, then the audio interface, and then the mixer. If we look from the other side, you have got a mixer which is connected to the digital audio interface, and this is connected to the PC. And it serves multiple purposes. It may have a flavor of a mixer plus digital interface. In this case, I am using it as external sound card. This is another older version of digital audio interface which I am using. See, this is how it is connected. The output, main output from your mixer, left and right, they both go into the digital audio interface. So these are analog signals. That means these are continuous signals which are getting into it. And to control their input, you have got knob to control their gain, so that your signal doesn't become distorted if it's too high. And from the other side, from the behind, there is a USB connector which gets connected to your PC, and then you configure this. You see, all these small little boxes come along with their own built-in software with which you can configure. They have got built-in drivers, and in most of the cases you don't have to do anything actually. Windows 8, 9, 10, they automatically lift up the drivers and do the needful thing. Now this is yet another kind of a mixer, which is a standalone multi-track recorder and 2.0 USB computer audio. Most of the artists are using it. That means they are also, not only that it's a mixer, it has got a built-in hard disk in which you can record and keep it for later use. So you have got mixers with built-in multi-track audio interface, huge mixers. I mean, they cost money, a few lakh rupees. So these big mixers have got all the features of any good mixer, but they also have the digital content in this, in terms of storage of your songs, whatever you're doing, also communicating with the PC system. And it's a multi-track mixer. They let you record each individual track into your DAW. DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation software. We will have a separate session on DAW later on. So DAW comes in various flavors, like the simplest of the DAWs which you use in your computer is Audacity, which is a 2-channel recording and editing software. Then for professionals, you are like I'm using Nuendo. and you have got Cubase, Nuendo, and there are a number of other DAW software. They're all softwares which are installed in your computer, and they allow you to communicate with the help of digital audio interface. So some of them even let you record those same tracks to an SD track at the same time. So you can record the track while you are communicating with the system, and those tracks which are recorded, they are stored in the hard disk, which is a built-in thing in your audio mixer. Digital mixer. This is a particular model which I have liked. Is a Behringer, the same company which I am using over here. X32. It's a 40 input compact mixer that features 32 by 32 audio interface, meaning that you can record 32 separate tracks using DAW. And these channel faders are motorized faders. That means you can control them by way of a computer program, so they go up and down. You don't have to physically put your fingers on this. So in a song, there are parts in which you want high volume or low volume. You can actually program this, and these knobs will move on their own. It is something as if a ghost is moving them. And then you have got this color LED screen which shows you various parameters of audio levels, and this complete system is digital, and of course they're quite expensive. Now folks, let's have a live demonstration in which I intend making you hear the various textures of tones, which is possible by using the mixer. You won't be able to see the mixer because I've shown you enough. And now is the time when a live demonstration of how you can alter the various tones, like I'm talking to you. So I will start with a very simple thing. I will make everything sound flat. Now this is absolutely flat sound where I'm not enhancing, doing anything in the equalization. I'm not introducing any reverb. So it sounds so flat, very insipid, not at all. It doesn't generate that kind of an emotional connect, as I told you in the in this session only. Now what I do is I want to basically model. I want to model this analog signal in a way that it sounds better. So what I'm going to do, I have already set my gain and volume in such a way that when I'm talking to you, sitting at a distance from the microphone, you're able to hear my voice. So that's a very simple setup. The main thing comes when we want to do some EQ, that means equalization. Now, you see, as a speaker or as a singer, you should know what kind of voice you have. Like females have a high pitch voice, males have got low pitch voice, and also medium pitch. Now my pitch is basically baritone. I have a baritone voice, lower frequencies. So now I have to have a very ideal mix of audio in which the overall quality sounds better. Now I am tweaking it, and you will find, and when you hear it, you'll find that it gets better. I've increased the high EQ, the mid one also, and lower also. So now if you see, there is a crispness in my voice. My voice has become little crispy, which is required. This is known as making your voice little bright. Otherwise it sounds very hollow. And I am also going to introduce a little bit of, see, reverb. This is Reverb Fx Control. Now this is something which should come intuitively. I mean, there is no book written on this, how many notches you have to open. You have to listen to your own voice. I am trying to create an impressive sound by way of equalization, by way of introducing effects like reverb, And I can also introduce various other, there are 100 types of other effects, which is not possible to demonstrate over here, because once you have this gadget with you, you can easily do it. The model which I am having in my studio is Behringer 1202FX, Xenix 1202FX, which I was showing you in the beginning of this session only. This is easily available in all cities. If you visit any music shop where they keep musical instruments, they also keep mixers and digital audio interfaces. So it's a very genuine piece which I picked up from Delhi, and it costs something around 14,000 or something, not more than that. So it's not very expensive. Similarly, I'm using a digital audio interface UR22 Mark II Steinberg. That also costs something like 13,000 bucks or so. Then I'm using a condenser microphone. So condenser microphones are usually very expensive, but you also have general use condenser microphones, which will cost you something like 3,000 or 4,000 bucks. And these are all available on Amazon. You don't have to physically, I mean, if you find that you're in a place where you don't have access to musical shop, you can always go to Amazon or any similar site and find out what you're looking for. For example, you're looking for audio mixer, so you have to write the catchword: audio mixer 8 channel, audio mixer 12 channels. You don't need more than that, because more channels means more expensive, and it's very heavy also, and you will never be using all those channels. For all practical purposes, I am telling you, up to 12 channels is good enough. And thereafter, each mixer comes along with its own little technical manual. It doesn't teach you how to do audio engineering. Please remember that. You want to transform yourself into a budding sound engineer, you have to read. When I say you have to read, you go to various internet sites which talk about audio engineering basics. Handling of mixers you can find out on YouTube. So I mean, nothing is impossible. And thereafter, it's just a trial and error method. Please don't feel shy of using an audio mixer, even if you're a non-techie. Somebody says, I've not studied physics and mathematics in class 12. That doesn't matter. What are the essential ingredients? You should have an ear for music. You should be able to grasp, the basics of all these knobs which I've told you. And whenever you want to do this exercise, you just revisit Xena World site and see one of these, YouTube videos, and then you can train yourself. Like I have trained myself. I was not trained by any, FTII or other film institutes, or I'm told that these days A.R. Rahman is also running his own academy in which audio and video production, editing, and all these things are taught formally and by a very good faculty. So if you're lucky enough in your city or around, you get enrolled into an institute and do a certificate course or a diploma course. In case you are looking for a career in this. In case you're a normal user, you don't have to do any course. Like I have not done any course in audio engineering, but I have been using it off and on. I mean, I've been using it for so many years. I saw the transition from analog to digital also. And I mean, analog times when there were no computers as such in early 1980s. It was all analog system, and the recording was done on tape recorders. So, which was actually a difficult task.
Sir, could you demonstrate anything on the music part? I mean, the way you demonstrated on the vocal part.
Yeah.
Anything on the music?
Okay, okay. Now I'll play a piece of music and I will try to make it sound better. Okay. Now, this is my own music only which I'm playing. Just listen to this and see how it gets better. I hope you were able to discern the difference between flat kind of a thing and then how I have modeled it.
Yeah, definitely, sir.
And then, whenever you're talking, doing a talk show or something, you can, in a very subtle manner, you can introduce background music, play through your computer. Obviously, you have a digital audio interface in between, and take the phone feed from digital audio interface into one of the line inputs of your mixer, and then control the sound up or down. See, so a very at a very low volume where it doesn't overshadow your own talk, you can introduce it and make your session more interesting. So this is how you can model your own voice or a piece of music.
Awesome. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Which
So this is how
confirms,
it is done, and you learn by hit and trial. Keep using it,
true.
keep using it. There'll be and it's always a continuous improvement. I mean, there is no absolute thing about it that once you have done it, that's the end of it. I keep learning every day something new or the other because I do a lot of experimental music. एंड सो उसमें बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग हो जाता है आई डोंट इवन कम टू नो कब आधी रात हो गई इट्स सो एडिक्टिव लेट मी टेल यू हैविंग योर ओन लिटिल होम स्टूडियो and then you're spending time in this is by itself is an addiction. You keep experimenting and every time you come out with something better. That is the beauty of using audio mixer, and along with audio mixer, digital audio interface. Please remember, if you want to set up your little home studio, you should have a laptop, minimum thing, laptop, a microphone, a digital audio interface, a mixing console, and the various types of cables, XLR cables, TRS cables. Everything is available online. You don't have to physically visit any shop. You just sit down, place an order, and these things come to you. And thereafter, visit YouTube, because each company has put their videos, tutorial videos on YouTube, with which you learn, and within no time you're up and running. I hope
Yeah, we do.
that's the
We
purpose.
will look forward to your next session, sir. And by the way, what is it going to be focused on?
Please come
You're
again. I
coming.
can't hear you.
I said we look forward to your next session.
Sure.
What is it? What is it going to be basically covering?
Rajiv, I intend covering in my next session digital audio workstation DAW.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'll take just one particular DAW and I'll basically tell you how to set up. I will not talk about music as such. I will already have my musical tracks laid down on that, because music is something which you cannot teach in this session. So I'm only going to teach about, not exactly teach, but I will give certain guidelines about using digital audio workstation or DAW, how to set it up for recording, for live, whatever.
So technically, it is getting scaled up. One
Correct,
session up
correct. It's getting
to the
scaled up.
next,
Absolutely right.
right?
Absolutely right.
Okay, great. It was wonderful interacting today, sir, and we do look forward to your next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.